Hi, my name is Martina Otero, and I will be talking about how some animals are adapting to the climate change of their environment. To do so, I will discuss a CNN article from Katie Hunt called The Climate Crisis is Messing with Birds' Body Shape, as well as a research paper that she referenced in her article called Cold Water Species Deepen to Escape Warm Water Temperatures by Dr. Jakin and her team at the Tel Aviv University in Israel. Ms. Hunt's article primarily focused on a 40-year study done in the Amazon rainforest that showed how many species of birds were adapting to a rapidly changing environment. Researchers studied 15,000 specimens across 77 different species of non-migratory birds. They found that nearly all species were losing an average of 2% of their body weight every decade. In addition to weight loss, about a third of the species were also adapting a longer wingspan. Ms. Hunt points out that this is a similar pattern to the physical changes being seen in North American migratory birds. So, why are these changes happening? Well, Ms. Hunt explained that these changes are helping to make birds more energy efficient in response to climate change. So, what kind of climate change would push bird species to adapt to more energy efficient bodies? Well, in the Amazon rainforest, much has changed. Since 1966, the wet season has seen a 13% increase in rainfall and a 1 degree Celsius increase in temperature. The dry season had a 15% decrease in rainfall, while the average temperature increased by 1.65 degrees Celsius. Ms. Hunt states that researchers are theorizing these changes have led to increased scarcity of resources like food. While Mrs. Hunt's article primarily focused on the physical changes of birds in the Amazon, she ensures that it's emphasized that animals all over the world are being affected by climate change. In reference to aquatic animals' response to warming waters, it's a popular belief that many will seek refuge in deeper waters than they normally inhabit. Dr. Chaikin's study sought to find if there was any truth in this theory and became the largest study of its kind. 236 species of fish, Mollusca, and cephalopods were studied for the depth response in face of warming temperatures in their habitat. The researchers of the study figured it was likely that species would exhibit one of these four depth responses. The first one is depth conservation, where the minimum and maximum depth range of the species does not change. The second is depth shift, where the minimum and maximum depth shift to deeper waters. The third is depth compression, where minimum depths deepen while maximum depths remain constant. The fourth response is depth expansion, where minimum depths remain constant while maximum depth increases. Researchers hypothesize that any depth shifts associated with climate change will depend on the species' thermal range. So warm water species will exhibit depth expansion, while cold water species will exhibit depth shift or compression patterns to avoid warmer waters. It is theorized that thermal generalists may have flexibility to maintain their usual range. There is also a study showed significant depth deepening, but it was not uniform across all species. Cold water species were seen to have larger minimum depth deepening than the warm water species. Deep water species demonstrated stronger deepening than shallow water species, which is theorized that it was because shallow water experienced far more temperature fluctuations than deeper waters, and deep water species may need to deepen more to find suitable temperatures. Finally, deepening was observed in species that are thermal generalist, which is not what was hypothesized. It was observed that many thermal specialists were also depth specialists and may not have the flexibility to deepen. To conclude, shallow water species may have less options to adapt to warming waters because there's only so far down they can descend, but deep water species still face risks. Eventually, the bottom of the sea may become too warm, and there will be no more refuge from warming waters, and species may face barriers such as oxygen minimization zones that will prevent them from descending. Specialists may suffer disproportionately due to their inflexibility in terms of temperature and depth. So, to reflect on how accurate the CNN article was, Ms. Hunt does not provide a link or even directly names the study that provided the data for the Amazon bird study, so its accuracy could not be verified. She does, however, provide a link to Dr. Chaikin and team's research paper to validate her statement about how fish, mollusks, and crustaceans in the Mediterranean Sea are being found in habitats that are deeper than usual in response to warming waters. While this statement is vague and relatively shallow, it is still accurate.